Hello, guys and girls. Welcome to this episode of The Chop with Marvin Lee. I have been experiencing some beautiful things here as of late, and I'm going to share those with you. Um, I'm really just in this place of tremendous gratitude. And on this episode tonight, my friend Nicole from last week, I've been so busy that it just slipped my mind that I had told her last week I would have her back this week because I want her to be able to share her story, about her struggles with addiction and how she overcame or what have you. Um, but nevertheless, no matter what I go through, no matter what I deal with, I've committed to recording weekly and being consistent with my efforts. Um, because that's one thing that I've in times past I've not been able to do. When I was in active addiction, consistency didn't even exist for me, right? But I've learned how to mature in some areas, and I'm learning to grow up, and I'm learning how to persevere through some things. And in this episode, one of the ways in which gratitude speaks is by being graceful. Um, Extending grace to others. I start by extending grace to myself first. That's the first thing for me. Um, and then gratitude speaks in my actions because I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've been given as a result of making the choices that I have made. I've decided to allow my gratitude to carry me because there are days that I may feel like um, things aren't necessarily going the way that I would want them to go. And I'm grateful that things don't always go the way I want them to go, but they always flow the way that I need them to go. Um, and I've learned how to get in that flow and move in that process. And here lately, especially the past couple of days, I mean, again, last Monday, I celebrated 5 years clean. And ever since then, and especially today, well, really yesterday, but mostly today, I've been in this place where it's like I feel something that I haven't felt in a long time. And when I started thinking about exactly what it was, because in as much as I say the things that I say to you guys, I have to apply to myself. Like if I don't go within, I'm gonna go without. And I'm feeling this something deep within, and it's nothing that's I don't feel fearful or anything like that, but I feel a shift. I feel like things are changing. I feel like this is coming together. I feel like something's happening, and it's the way I described it earlier to a friend of mine. Is it's almost scary how calming it is, and I realize it's only because. Um, Thank you, Mutesi. It's only because I'm trusting the process. And this process that I'm trusting is a process that has allowed me to begin to cultivate the relationship with what everybody else would say is a higher power. And for me, that's God, because I came into this process of recovery and I never forget the prayer of desperation that I prayed. God, if you deliver me from this darkness, I promise I'll follow you. And 5 years in, I'm starting to feel some feelings that I haven't felt in a long time. But these feelings are not scary feelings. It's just scary for me in the sense that it's so calm and it's so tranquil and I'm so peaceful that it's like, most people describe it as I'm waiting on the other shoe to drop. And I'm not like that. I'm not waiting on the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting to see what's about to manifest. I'm waiting to see what's about to happen because I know that I'm in a place of alignment and synchronicity because there's too many things that have been happening. And something I'll share really quick. I've been emotional. Like it's like I want to cry, but nothing's wrong. I'm having these feelings and these emotions that I'm actually feeling, and I'm not afraid of them. If you know anything about me, I'm a very upbeat, outgoing person, but these emotions have made me kind of slow down, take inventory, and I'm really reflecting over these past 5 years, just how far I've come. And I have to stop because for me, that's a major milestone. And I have to stop and I have to think for a minute. I have to stop and think for a minute where I could have been if I didn't make the decision that I made 5 years ago, right? So here I am watching other people find beauty in this process and also trust in this process, which further reinforces to me that I made the right decision, that I'm on the right path, that things are going the way they're supposed to go, that no matter what happens, as long as I continue to move forward, as long as I keep loving myself, as long as I keep loving somebody else, as long as I keep showing up, as long as I keep trying, I don't have to think about the problems that exist. That's not to say that I don't have to deal with them, but I don't have to allow the problems to overtake me, right? Because I know that um, as long as I focus on the next step, focusing on making the next step my best step. And when I say that, my next step will be the best step as I know it. It'll be to the best of my willingness, to the best of my ability. So that step will be the best that it can be in that moment. And that's not to say that the next step after that will be better than that step. But I constantly look for ways to improve end over end. No matter what I'm doing, I'm trying to find ways to continue to improve. Um, and that spiritual flow is one that I'm starting to feel that, in the sense that I have never felt as close to God as I feel now. I have never felt so close to myself and in love with myself as I do now. I have never trusted myself more than I trust myself now, and I think some crazy thoughts. Um, and because I trust myself, I trust other people, certain people with certain things. Like one of my friends says to me all the time that I'm a little too trusting. And it's not hard for me to now, it's not hard for me to be vulnerable and to open up and to express my gratitude, or to, because when gratitude speaks, gratitude is not afraid of being hurt. Um, because of the grace that comes with the gratitude, I am able to just be me. I'm speaking out of sheer gratitude. And that comes from a place of pure freedom, unadulterated freedom. And my joy flows from that. And so sometimes, I really feel like the emotions I feel is that the thankfulness, the gratefulness that God has shown up on my behalf, and He has answered my calls, He has answered my cries. He's just been there the whole time. And the story that I was about to share, that I stopped because I'm in my bag right now. I'm in my feelings, but in a good way. I was at a meeting earlier, and I was watching somebody. I was just watching somebody, listening to them speak about some things that were positive, and they actually, had gotten 1 year clean, and I haven't gotten five. But while they were talking, I was listening to them and just gleaming, because I'm sharing in their successes, because I feel where they've been, and I just connected. But I'm reflecting on my process at the same time, my eyes, I was welling, my eyes began to water a little bit, and I, the natural instinct for me in that moment was to stop it. But then at the end of the day, I said, no, don't stop it, let it flow. Feel what you feel, whatever. And I just happened to look down at the floor, and it was a wood grain finished floor, whatever. And on the floor, somebody had scratched the number 7. I don't know if they intentionally did it. I don't know how it got there. It doesn't matter. But the fact is, it was there, and for me, it meant something to me. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that a coincidence is nothing more than a miracle that God doesn't get credit for. So in that moment, I felt God saying, I'm with you. And I've always felt His presence with me. I've never been afraid to trust God. I've never been afraid to speak about God. I've never been afraid to love God. I was just afraid to love me. I was afraid to be me. But the gratitude that I have for the grace that God's given me, the thing that I'm feeling is a profound belief, a profound trust. This is beyond hope for me at this point. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the best is yet to come. And I'm just holding on. Um, Everything that I've asked for and that I've waited for and that I've prayed for, I feel the intensity of the alignment and the synchronicity of the attraction. And I'm not going to sit here in disbelief because I prayed for that. Like, I'm living a life today that I prayed for years ago. And when I think about that, I can't stop. I don't want to be like anybody else. Even with my podcast, it's like I keep asking myself, God, how do you want me to handle this? Where should I go with this? What should I do? And the name is The Chop with Marvin Lee. So I show up every week because I want to talk to you guys. I want to spread hope to you guys. I want to spread love and light and joy and enrichment and fulfillment, wisdom, knowledge, compassion, empathy. I just want to be able to be for you what I needed somebody to be for me, or what I had hoped somebody would be for me. Like I don't do this because I'm trying to get a million viewers. If that happens in the process, great. But if it doesn't, then it just means I'm going to try something else. But I'm going to keep doing this until I don't feel like I want to do it anymore. And I want to do this every week. I have to be consistent. I have to be committed. I have to be determined. I have to be faithful in my process. I have to show God that I am committed to this. If this is the dream that I want to manifest, I have got to be committed to the dream, no matter what. Everybody else can be traveling to meet the president Monday night at 8:30 or somewhere thereabout. But I got to be so committed to the process that, you know what? I'm going to pass because I have a podcast that I'm committed to. Little becomes much, but you have to be faithful over that little before it can become much. And that's where I am right now. When I sit back and I think about the distance that I've traveled in these past 5 years, I celebrate the small victories. I don't look at how far I have to go. Rather, I'm grateful for how far I've come and for how many people that I've gotten to touch along the way and how many people I've gotten to bring along the way with me. Have I lost some people along the way? I have. And those that I lost to the disease of addiction, I fight harder to honor their memory and to make sure that somebody else has the opportunity. Granted, I can't fix anybody. I can't manage or control anybody, but I do have the opportunity to share the way out. I hope the hug that I give you is, if I meet you and I'm able to hug you and you feel that embrace, I hope it imparts something to you that says, you know what, I can do this. Because somebody did that for me. Somebody did that for me. And when I'm, here lately, I used to be a TV junkie in terms of like watching news and anything political. But just here lately, things are just for the past, I'd say a good 3, 4 years. I know, or actually close to 5. I haven't watched as much news as I normally do. Why? Because of the hopelessness that I hear. Because of the, I'm not even going to respond to you, Henry. Because of the negativity that I see, because of the energy that is destructive as opposed to being constructive. I'd rather build you up. I don't want to tear you down because I've been torn down myself, and I don't want to do that to anybody else. Um, if I can't be encouraging to you, I don't want to be discouraging because I could easily break your spirit, and that's not what I want to do. That's not who I am. Henry Hill, will you stop? I'm not even going to repeat what he just said. It was nice, but I'm not going to repeat it. But thank you, Henry. But I just want to, I wish that I were able to somehow magically bottle up what I feel and give it out for free or just give it away for free. And that it would be one of those elixirs that, if you drink this, it just changes you into something else. But you know what? Life doesn't work like that. Because if it could have happened that way, I would have found that potion a long time ago. I would have sought out after it. I would have gone to any means to get it because I was hurting. I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I was treated. I didn't like how I acted. I didn't like anything. I was mad at everything and everybody. And it's funny how life has a way of teaching you um, through your own experiences. Experience is the best teacher, but I have to be willing to listen when life is trying to reveal that experience or remind me of that experience or bring it back to me. Because if something continues to happen to me, I've learned to ask, not why is this happening, but what is this trying to teach me? What have I not learned? What have I not healed from? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to surrender from? What do I need to surrender to? Because again, the beauty is in the struggle. And when there's no struggle, there can be no change. Because at some point, at least this is my experience, I got tired of struggling with certain things. And the things that I do struggle with now, because I persevered with other things, the struggle doesn't seem so intense and it doesn't seem so unbearable. And I'm able to manage and get through better than I was able to do so before. And again, those small victories, each time that I overcome one obstacle, I feel a little more renewed. I feel a little more rejuvenated. I feel a little more tough. I feel like I can manage this, or I can take on that, or whatever the case may be. Now my friend just texts me. He's like, "Oh, it's Monday. Yeah, this is the night that I wanted you on the podcast. But we can always do it next Monday because I'm 20 minutes in, just sharing from my heart right now. And it's and I'm not going to be one of those people that says, you know what, people don't want to hear messages of beauty and messages of joy and happiness. People want chaos and confusion because it seems that way, but I know better. I believe in humanity. I believe that there's somebody. It's easier to go with the flow than it is to stand out. Because see, I'm going to get talked about if I stand out. I'm going to get talked about for being different. You're not going to like me if I'm different. But I learned that I don't care whether you like me or not. I embrace my different. My different is unique. That's what different is, unique. I am me, you are you. I love me, I love you, whether you love you or not. But I don't want to be you. I don't pretend to be better than you, but I don't want to be you. I want to be me. It took me 50 years to want to be me. Actually, a little less than that. 45 years. Because I've been in the process for 5 years now. But I want to be me. I want to love me. I want to celebrate me. I want to enjoy me. I want to listen to me. I want to validate me. And the reason I want to do all of those things for me is so that I can eventually do those things for you. It has to start with me first. I know who I am. And it took me a long time to get to that place, but I know who I am. I don't have a struggle in terms of should I do this with this person or should I not do that with that person, or do I want to? How are you going to enhance my life? Not enhance. How are you going to fit into my energy? How am I going to fit into how will our energy interact? Is there going to be a clash? Is it going to bond? Is it going to mesh well? How is it going to respond? If the energy is right, then I'm going to flow with that. But if the energy is not right, I'm going to pay attention to that. I'm aware enough to understand that I don't have to connect. Everybody's not deserving of my energy. I'm not deserving of everybody's energy. But I'm focusing on me. Everybody is not deserving of my energy. And I want to honor my energy by feeling it. Feeling it. I don't know any other way to say it other than feeling it, embracing it. Just resting in it, resting with it. Just closing my eyes and letting my energy be what it is. Because it's so weird that we hear people say, I just love your energy. You're so this and you're just so amazing. Other people feel our energy and receive benefits by interacting with our energy. But how do we feel about our energy? What benefits do we get from our own energy? And those are the kinds of questions I've been asking myself lately. I don't want to feel something and immediately try to run and find something to replace it or to distract me from it. And I inadvertently have done that in times past where I would start feeling a certain type of way, and I get excited because my energy is shifting. I don't understand what's going on, so I naturally it's like I just get like I drank 3 Monsters and I run and I'm interacting with everybody else, and the next thing you know I'm people pleasing and codependent and it just running from me, and then things don't go the right way because I didn't take the time to sit and focus on myself, and it's like it's just. I never took the time to stop or slow down and hear me. I'm upset that nobody else seemed to hear me, but I really should have been upset because I didn't hear myself. And I wouldn't have had to go seeking for approval in places that I never should have been. And I'm learning how to take my power back. I'm learning how to cleanse my energy. I'm learning how to heal my energy. And I'm learning how to be the recipient of that healed energy. I'm learning how to value it, honor it. And because of that, that's why my gratitude speaks. And that's really why this is one of my, this episode, I sat down and just felt like I was rambling, but at the same time, I knew that I wasn't. And I wanted to make sense, but I didn't know if I knew I would make sense, but I didn't know if it would make sense the way I was trying to make it make sense. I said, just talk. That's something I'm good at. I'm good at talking. At least I'd like to think I am. I do enough of it. I should be good at it. But I want my gratitude to make sense. And even if it doesn't make sense to anybody else, as long as it makes sense to me, I'm just sharing what I feel right now. Because there's enough stuff being shared that really shouldn't be shared. And I'm not going to say it shouldn't be shared, but there's a lot of stuff that I could live without. I would rather see other things than some of the things I do see. And rather than complain about it, what do? I become the change that I want to see in the world. There may be one ripple in the ocean, but that one ripple, if you throw a pebble in the ocean, that one pebble is going to create a ripple, and that ripple will go only God knows how far. But the fact is, that pebble was thrown into the ocean, that ripple started, and it created, and there was an effect, there was a reaction as a result of that pebble being thrown into the ocean. So this is me. I'm just a small pebble being thrown into a large ocean, a large body of water. But my presence is felt. You can see it. You can feel it. I could keep talking, but I don't want to right now, because I feel like if I keep talking, I'm going to be begin rambling. But just understand that gratitude does speak. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Gio. Now y'all want to start talking when I'm about ready to end it. But I love all of you guys, and I'm always happy when I have people that show up. And most people watch they watch it after I record it anyways, and that's fine. I don't care how you began watching, when you began watching, as long as it's seen, and that as long as the message is heard and it's received, and that it penetrates to your core. I want to do my part to create happiness in this world for myself. And from the overflow of happiness, you can just grab some and go with it. My cup runneth over. My gratitude speaks. And when my cup overflows with gratitude, when I'm around people that don't have any, here, have some of mine. Have some of mine. I'm going to stop because I'm about to get emotional, and I'm not about to cry on here with y'all. I'm just not going to do it. I'm vulnerable, but I ain't that vulnerable yet. Once again, this has been an episode of The Chop with Marvin Lee, every Monday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Do something kind for yourself this week. Do something kind for somebody else. Be graceful with yourself this week. Be graceful with somebody else. Let's make changes. Let's not make excuses. Make your next move your best move. I'll see you guys next week. I love you all, and thank you for stopping by.